Today's video, I'm going to be cutting into this pumpkin right here and carving it. But also, while I'm doing that, I'm going to be talking about my love for the Smashing Pumpkins. Now, I always say, people that met me yesterday know that my favorite band ever is the Smashing Pumpkins. Like, if you know anything about me, it is that my favorite band is the Smashing Pumpkins. If you only know one thing about me, it is that my favorite band ever is the Smashing Pumpkins. Like, it's not a secret. And for a while now, I had intended to kind of do a video just talking about that and unpacking that a little bit, if anybody's interested. But a few days from now, the release, like anniversary of the release of Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness happens, the 23rd of October. And also, it's Smashing Pumpkins, and we're right up here on Halloween, and I've got a couple pumpkins sitting around, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. But before I get into that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave me a like and a comment, gently press the notification bell, and find me on my social media accounts. I'm not just waving knives around, they have a purpose. I don't think I've ever shot anything from this angle, but I've got my pumpkin, I've got my gunker, my pumpkin guts getter outer, some knives, and my other pumpkin to put my pumpkin guts in. Okay, so it's not really about carving a pumpkin. I'm just going to be doing it while I talk about my love of the Smashing Pumpkins. Rarely does a video go by that I don't talk about, like, how much I love the Smashing Pumpkins. For some reason or other that ends up being relevant in whatever I'm talking about, or I at least, like, make it relevant in some kind of roundabout way. Even if it's just a very quick mention. But, okay, so the Smashing Pumpkins have been my favorite band since I was, like, a little kid. Like, a young child. Like, at least, like, a tween, like, maybe, like, 10, 11. And that is, like, the age in which you really kind of start to, like, develop, like, your personality and your taste. And, I mean, I know you have personality when you're younger, but that's when you start to have a little more, like, freedom of, like, what you have your own, you're starting to really have your own ideas at that age and, like, personal taste. And I always, like, give my mom a lot of credit because she really, did not try to mold me into any specific type of person. She encouraged all my interests, no matter how, like, different they were from each other. And I feel really fortunate that that was, like, the kind of upbringing and situation that I had. I know not everybody has that, and a lot of people have some, like, really, strict parents, or, parents that have this idea of what their child should be, and they really, go to great lengths to make sure that happens. But I did not have that. So, like, I had a really loving mother, but she just wanted me to be me, and she encouraged my uniqueness, I guess. Which is funny because she's so blonde and cute and, like, normal, But anyway, so yeah, so, like, about that age, you're starting to, like, really develop, like, a taste for things and what kind of music you like, and, your own kind of sense of style in life in general. And so I don't exactly remember how it came to be, but I know that my very first, like, encounter or, knowledge or whatever of the Smashing Pumpkins was I saw the video for Rocket, like, somewhere, and that's off of Siamese Dream. And shortly there, and I was like, oh, I love this. Like, from, like, the moment I, like, heard the music and heard Billy Corgan's voice, like, it was like, oh, I really like this. This is cool. This is, like, my thing. And it wasn't that much longer after that that, I was introduced to Melancholy. Melancholy is probably, I mean, I guess it's probably a toss-up between Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness and Siamese Dream. They're both, like, as far as, like, most popular Smashing Pumpkins albums. But I would have to say Melancholy probably outranks Siamese Dream just in popularity by a little bit, because there was a bunch of videos from the album, and They won like the VMA for, best video for Tonight Tonight in 1996. And, the Smashing Pumpkins back in the mid 90s were like they were like as popular as a band could be. So yeah, like I said earlier in the video, the anniversary of the release of Melancholy is on the 23rd, just in a couple days. So, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness is definitely even though it wasn't like my first like exposure to the Pumpkins, it's my favorite Pumpkins album. And some people might think that is like it's like mainstream Smashing Pumpkins or whatever, and it's like I have every Pumpkins album, B-side, bootleg, limited release, like I have consumed just about everything there is to consume as far as Smashing Pumpkins go. But there is no other, I guess, like, piece of art or piece of media or pop culture or, just album or anything in general that has had a bigger impact on the person I am today than Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. It's a great album. It's a double disc. Like, there's 2 CDs. If anybody even like has CDs anymore, but I think that was a pretty big deal when it came out. But anyway, like it's a great album. The first the first disc or the first half of it or whatever is kind of a lot harder, and that's where most of their singles came from. And then the second disc is, well, I guess that's not even true because there's some like really hard songs on the second disc, but there's just kind of 2 different vibes. It's kind of like the first one is kind of like a ramp up, and then the second disc is kind of like it's like a ease down, I guess is the best way to say it. But anyway, that has nothing to do really with like why I love the Smashing Pumpkins so much. So, okay, so just, over the years and as my musical taste have like evolved and I've been exposed to like other music and things like that, nothing else has like topped the Pumpkins for me. Like nothing else ignites that spark that happens when I listen to the Smashing Pumpkins. Like there are so like I know a lot of people it's more about like the actual music than the lyrics, but I'm the type of person that it's like lyrics hold a lot of like, they pull a lot of weight with me or they mean a lot to me. I mean, it is poetry. It is. And, the right song and the right lyrics can be like life-changing sometimes. But like, I've like the lyric, this like Billy Corgan's like lyrics are like no other, and like they strike a chord with me like I can't think of another band that has even a close impact like that. There are some songs out there that definitely like stir that up in me, but as a whole, like no way. Like I can sit down and listen to Melancholy, I can sit down and listen to Siamese Dream, Pisces, Machina, Adore, like even like the newer stuff. And people hate on Zeitgeist, but I think it's actually a pretty good album. And they used to have it on Instagram, so you could put it in your Instagram story, and they've taken it off. And I think that sucks because, and also, Machina is not on there, and Stand Inside Your Love is like an amazing song. It's like, I'll wrap my wire around your heart and your mind. Like, come on, like that gives me shivers just saying it. Like, I don't know, I'm just maybe nuts, but it's just, I can't explain it. Like, if anybody has a band that they feel like that about, like, let me know in the comments below. I've mentioned before that Alkaline Trio, I think it was my last video, is my second favorite band ever, and they have a lot of songs that, like, get me amped up, like Pumpkins do, but there's still no Smashing Pumpkins. I think it is kind of funny, though, not like funny, just maybe like coincidental that Smashing Pumpkins and Alkaline Trio are both from Chicago. So maybe I just like artist out of Chicago or something. But anyway, the Smashing Pumpkins, they've been the soundtrack to my life. Like, I am Justine in 1979. Like Justine never knew the rules, hung down with the freaks and ghouls. Like, that's not me. I don't know who it is. And coincidentally, I was supposed to be a boy, or if I wasn't supposed to be a boy. If I was going to be a boy, my parents were going to name me Justin. And I always thought, like, why didn't they just name me Justine? Then I really would be Justine, who never knew the rules and hung down with the freaks and ghouls. But anyway, like, like I said, the Smashing Pumpkins have been the soundtrack of my life. Okay. I have, like, celebrated, like, with the Smashing Pumpkins in the background. I have been in despair with the Smashing Pumpkins in the background. Like, there isn't an emotion that I've ever had that I haven't been able to, like, relate to a pumpkin song in some way. And that's kind of just what music is for me in general. Like, if I'm excited, it, like, gets me even more excited. If I'm, down, it, like, expresses my, like, feelings in the time. I know I'm not the only one, and that's not, like, a unique feeling, or that's not a unique relationship with music in general. But, Billy and his music writing and his song lyrics are the voice of my heart. And I say that all the time, but if my heart had an actual voice, it would be that of William Patrick Corgan. Now, I have been fortunate enough, I've got to see them play. I've been to a few pumpkin shows. Well, actually several. There was a while there where there was no pumpkin shows, and thank goodness they are, like, back to being almost a whole band. Okay, let's see. I got a bass guitar for Christmas when I was 13, and I started playing bass at 13 because of Darcy, because she was a female bassist and I was a chick, so, I wanted to be a female bassist. I'm kind of sensitive, and if I'm anything, I'm loyal. Like, I am loyal AF, and that can sometimes be an amazing, like, character trait, and sometimes it can get me in trouble and be a kind of a character flaw. Loyal to a fault sometimes, I guess. But, so, with anything, like, if something in my life deserves my attention, or if I deem it, like, something that I like, or something that is worth my time, then, like, I'm there for it. I'm here for it. I'm there for it. My, loyalty to it and commitment to it is not questioned. And I've been like that since I was little. So I guess that is, also plays into why, like, the Smashing Pumpkins have been, just such a big part of my life, and why they have been my unwavering favorite band ever. I got Billy Corgan's Sweat on me at a concert one time. Like, I had got there super, super, super early, and it was in the middle of July, and it was hot AF, and luckily I got a spot. It was a small kind of clubby show, and I got a spot right at the front of the stage, and OMG was it hot, and Billy Corgan was sweating all over the place, and he goes like this across his head, and I got Billy Corgan sweat all over me, and it was like one of the greatest days of my life. But, I have had a few things that I've posted to social media that Billy Corgan has liked, and that's always, like, really exciting for me. And I have an Instagram photo that Jimmy Chamberlain, the drummer, liked, and it's only been my stories that Billy's liked, but, I can screenshot them and throw them in the video. Like, I want to show them off. But Jimmy, he's, like, one of my actual posts, so that's been really awesome. It's, like, there for anybody to see anytime. But yeah, like the Smashing Pumpkins are just amazing, and they just never get old for me. And they've got a new album coming out, like, it's on pre-order right now. I'm very excited. I've got to, they've released some videos and, you know, some of the songs from the album already, but the full album is coming out soon. So I'm really excited to listen to that, like sit down and really listen to it. You know, their style and their music has changed and evolved over the years. And, you know, it's like they're still the Pumpkins to me. You know, like early Pumpkins are very like alternative. There's a little bit of like psychedelic, you know, vibe in early Pumpkins music, and you know, mid range Pumpkins is very like alternative, almost bordering on kind of like gothy alternative, and then you know, kind of after that is you know, it's like an evolved, almost like a more grown up alternative, if that makes sense. And you know, I'm just eager to see what this whole album sounds like. This past summer, the Pumpkins were supposed to play some shows with Guns N' Roses, and like, oh my God, would that not have been like I was going and I was planning to go, and then COVID happened, so that did not happen. So yeah, that really sucks. I didn't. I've complained about COVID way too much, but okay. Well, I've got my pumpkin gutted out for the most part. Let me like dump this. I got a little bit of shreds on the inside, but I've got my pumpkin gutted. I've carved Billy Corgan into a pumpkin before. I'll throw a picture of that up. It's not great, but I freehanded it, and I still think it's like pretty good. I gotta decide where I'm gonna do this face. I'm just gonna do like a traditional jack-o'-lantern face on this guy. I'm not gonna get too fancy with it, but I don't even know where I'm so rambling in this video. But anybody that's watching, like, I really appreciate it. Um, but yeah, I mean, I love the Smashing Pumpkins. They're the voice of my heart, the soundtrack of my life. Do you guys have any bands like that? Like, is there any band that like you just could not do without? Like, I can honestly say that I would be a different person today had the Smashing Pumpkins never existed or never came into my life. Like, I know that sounds like extreme, but like they really have had an impact on like who Asherella is. Like, I would be different right now had I never came across the Smashing Pumpkins. Um, Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that would be a bad thing. Who knows? But like, I like who I am. Like, I like that I am. You know, like I'm passionate and I'm very like into the things that I'm into. And if that's the Smashing Pumpkins or other, you know, aspects of my life, or like my channel, you know, like I'm super dedicated to my YouTube channel. But anyway, I keep like always going off on tangents. I'm not sure why. I just cannot talk about something straight. But yeah, you know, things in life change, you know, and you know, the older I get, the more I realize that there's very few things in life that are totally 100% unconditional. I mean, you know, people come and go in your life, and you know, other, like, you know, I have really, like I mentioned earlier, I have a really good family, and my mom is amazing, and my sister is awesome, and you know, they are like the only real like unconditional people that have ever been in my life, you know. But like the Smashing Pumpkins, it's one of those things that like I know I can rely on. Like, I can go back and listen to Siamese Dream or Melancholy or Adore or Machina or Pisces or whatever, and it will make me feel this, you know, like I know how that's like, it's my feelings toward those albums and the feelings that are invoked are unconditional. And there's just not a lot in life that is unconditional anymore. And I think whenever you find something or you realize you have something like that, that it should be acknowledged, because like I said, you know, that kind of thing is rare. I think my jack-o'-lantern is gonna look crazy. His eyes are gonna be so crooked. Oh well. I, I like a jack-o'-lantern with personality. I don't have to have a perfect jack-o'-lantern, because God knows I am not perfect. He's more realistic this way, I guess. But so yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna finish carving this pumpkin. Final jack-o'-lantern product here. Quite possibly the goofiest looking jack-o'-lantern I've ever carved, but he's my jack-o'-lantern, so I don't mind. I've got a couple more that I'm gonna carve, and I'll try to make them a little less silly looking, but I still like him. You know, I think he's a carved pumpkin. How can you not like a jack-o'-lantern? All right, well, I guess that's all. And, you know, one thing that I kind of realized while talking about this, while carving my pumpkin and talking about the Smashing Pumpkins, my favorite band, is that, you know, I really don't have one, like, specific or definitive reason why the Smashing Pumpkins are my favorite band. Um, I love them, and, you know, it's a feeling that I really just don't have the vocabulary for, or I don't know if there are words for, like, this feeling. Whenever I was making my spooky season playlist video, you know, I kind of struggled in that to verbalize feelings that I had about certain songs, and I didn't even realize that till I was like filming. Um, and maybe that's just me, but I don't know, like just music and certain music gives me a tingle that like you know it's hard to describe. You know, it's just hard to put out in a definitive way. But yes, I love the Smashing Pumpkins. They're my all-time favorite band ever. If you've never listened to the Smashing Pumpkins, or you are not familiar with Billy Corgan or James Iha or Jimmy Chamberlain and Darcy and then some other bass players for a while, like you should check them out. Like if you listen to Melancholy, like if you're not familiar, or Siamese, pick one of those two, Siamese Dream or Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, because those are the easiest ones to like go in unintroduced and like to get you familiar with the band. But if you listen to Melancholy, I guarantee you will recognize at least the song Tonight Tonight or 1979, and maybe even Bullet with Butterfly Wings. Bullet is, people call it like the Rat in a Cage song, but it's a song that starts out, the world is a vampire. And the chorus is, despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. And people, like, they often don't know the name of the song because it nowhere in the whole song says the term bullet with butterfly wings. So, yeah. But anyway, like, I love the Pumpkins. If you've never listened to them, check them out. That's all for today. You can comment and laugh at my silly little jack-o'-lantern guy here if you'd like. It's not going to hurt my feelings. But I am Asherella. This is my channel, Original Asherella. Make sure to leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. Gently press the notification bell. Follow me on my social media accounts. Always tap in, never tap out, and keep on slaying like a Saiyan. I think my intros might be... My outros might be getting a little too long. What do you think?